Surprisingly, episode 13 was not the climactic final of this story arc. Much like in other anime shows, even if it's a 24 episode season, number 12 and 13 of that season is normally something climactic, something big, even ending a current arc. However, them taking the long route in this series gives us more time to develop and showcase different characters, which is what I think makes this episode so enjoyable and so great to watch. So hello everyone and welcome to the Animezilia, and thank you for joining me as we talk about episode 13 of the A Certain Scientific Railgun T animated series. Like I've said, a great episode showcasing characters like Shirai, Kozuku, and developing Mitsuki Shokuho even further, while building up to this tense battle toward the end with Mitsuka kind of losing her own self of being while Toma is trying to find a way to break through. So then in this video, I'm going to go into the order of talking about the characters of Kozuku, then Shirai, then Shokuho, with finishing off with a bit of Mitsuka. Because why not? So Kozuku's character still leaves this series with an air of mystery about her as to why she helped Gensai Sekihara, as we have confirmation now, thanks to this episode, that she is indeed that friend that stopped visiting Dolly after seeing all those scars. Now, one would assume that she has a vendetta against those who caused Dolly harm, who forced her to become part of these experiments. However, that being said, the one who did that was Gensai Sekihara, because we know that he was a part of that experiment. So why is she helping him? The only reason I can think of, and I said this in my other review, I do believe, that she had her memories manipulated by him for the specific reason that she could be useful for protecting himself and for guiding Mitsuka once their plans were initiated. Because now that we see her out of action, Mitsuka now is having a little bit more of a conscious awareness within her own mind, making herself want to break out of whatever she is doing, stopping her own actions. But back to Kozuku. So then, I really do like the fact that they've left us with this air of mystery about it, because it means we're going to have this character on screen just a little bit longer, and I'm okay with that, because I've absolutely loved the display from this character. She's an antagonist, but she's not really that antagonistic, and I can tell this because of the little fine details that we see from this episode. The reason being is, when she goes to kill or thinks that she's killed Shirai, she gets very flustered, she gets very kind of sweaty and nervous at the same time. Those are not body language traits of someone who is okay with taking another person's life. She even stated that, like, she was like, oh, haha, if you didn't have crossed my path, you wouldn't have died here by my hands. And you would have died anyway, so I guess you should be thanking me. Her emotions, her expressions, they were all mixed up in a weird concoction way. So, this is actually quite telling because it leaves a light at the end of the tunnel for Kozuku to actually change and become someone good. Now, a cop-out way they can do this is obviously have her reunite with the Mitsuka clone that is eventually going to become Dolly, because I can see Mitsuki Shokuho kind of doing that because she just wants that friend back. So, in reality, Shokuho is going to have to re-alter Minori's memories or Kozuku's memories, and then just kind of make her forget about all of the bad stuff that she's done. Again, it's a cop-out, but it's something that I can see them perfectly doing. Going back to that whole not being good with killing thing, another point I want to raise up is the fact that when she was laughing, that is where the nervousness came in. Her laugh was very, or had hints of nerves within it. She was like, and yeah, I mean, again, the voice acting was fantastic on this character. Her design is really good as well, and I just want to see more of her. So I'm glad they've got that mystery, keeping us hooked in suspense, just to explain just a little bit more about her. So yeah, just give me a little bit more Kozuku, and I'll be very happy with this character, even if we don't see her again, ever within the Index franchise. Now then, this episode heavily focuses on Shirai, making her seem more like a boss throughout this entire fight, as she has a brilliant showcasing in both her strategic planning and her physical abilities. She clearly has mastery over her own Esper ability, and it shows here perfectly. I love the little detail though about whenever she uses it consecutively in quick succession, there is a little bit of a lag between her using that teleportation ability. That's a new piece of information that I found out from this episode, and I really did like they dropped that. Because again, it adds more lore to the character and gives us more details and backstory. So yeah, I mean, little things like that are just things that I love to see when we watch these stuff. And overall, her display in terms of the character has just made me grow even more respect and fall more in love with the character of Shirai throughout. I mean, she is injured from the attack that happened in previous episodes, plus the fact she's just come out of hospital. So she is pushing herself to the limit just to help out and, well, not only do her own kind of duties as judgment, but at the same time helping out Misaka, who she is still very confused at in terms of what their relationship actually is. But at the same time, this does open up a brand new dynamic that I really do find fascinating. I love the fact they've done this throughout the series because it makes Shirai's kind of feelings be conveyed a lot better than just her being very horny for Misaka in terms of that regard, because that's all we've seen from her in terms of there. But this time we're seeing a more genuine side of her character, one that really genuinely wants to help Misaka for the fact that they're friends and not for the fact that she has the hots for her. Which, I mean, can't blame Shirai for having the hots for Misaka, because I'm sure everyone's got her as a waifu, but I digress. Another key thing about Shirai's character that I really did love, again, relating to Misaka's character, was the fact that when you look at her expressions and the tone of her voice at the very beginning, where she's like saying that dialogue about what's been transpiring and her reasons for wanting to help, I love the fact that it still does have that kind of overreaching comedic element to it, which is something I really did like. I thought that was brilliant, and she does try to deny it, so she is kind of like a tsundere in that regard, if you know what that is. But of course, we as the viewer know what her true feelings and her true relationship with Misaka is otherwise. So, I mean, again, it made me laugh, gave me a bit of comedy, but I will admit, it did make me worry at the very beginning of the episode. I was thinking we're going to have a recap episode, which if that was the case, oh, I'm grateful that wasn't. Honestly, that would have been awful. Plus, the goofy shots of Ueharu and Saturn near the end was just priceless. I love that. It shows that they are hardworking and they have earned their rest from this arc, because they have been great support throughout. And yeah, I mean, all characters involved that I've spoken about before, so Saturn, Ueharu, Shirai, Kozaku, this episode's made me fall in love with them even more. And another character that I've earned a lot of respect for from this episode is Mizuki Shogaho. We all knew that she would have a backup plan, just in case Gensai Sekihara saw through every one of her plan, and she did. It's just, she erased it from her own memory, thus playing a game of 4D chess to outsmart this crazy old man. And by getting rid of exterior, this shows signs of character growth and development from her character, as she now doesn't need to rely on it to boost her own abilities. Yes, it would be useful, but it's actually, like she says, comes with more cons than it does pros. So this, again, just shows the fact that she can let go of something that has been important and vital to her upbringing. So as well as getting rid of exterior, she also shows signs of also doing whatever it takes to achieve her goals, even doing something that she really, really despises, and that is allowing someone to rummage through her own mind. Yes, she's a character that loves to do it other people and manipulate them and bend them to their will, but she absolutely hates it when someone does it to her. It's in violating her own privacy. And this is something she had to allow happen in order to basically have the plan succeed in getting Gensai Sekihara to believe that he's got the release codes, when in fact it's actually the termination codes. So this, or self-destruction as they called it in the episode. So this, again, just shows that she's able to, put aside her own personal pride to, again, do what's necessary in order to achieve a beneficial result for all involved. Honestly, I've been enjoying Shogo's character from the moment this season has started. It's a brand new character introduced to me in this series, and yeah, I mean, I haven't read the manga, I haven't read the light novels, so I might be missing a few bits of information from Shogo's character, but at the same time, what the anime has presented to us has been so enjoyable, and I've been loving every second of it. And each time I see Shogo on camera, I do gain a lot more respect for the actions and for the development and for what she actually achieves. Because at the start, I just thought she was kind of a brat almost, doing whatever it takes in terms of scheming and manipulating people, doing what she wants them to do, instead of actually putting in any work herself. She seemed quite lazy. But no, my opinion of her has changed drastically from when I first saw this character, so this series and this episode helped in that regard. She has proved to herself and everybody else watching that she is someone not to mess with. You do not want to get on the bad side of Shogo's character, because even if she doesn't remember her plan to destroy you, trust me, she definitely will. So I will admit, seeing her looking very defeated and lifeless was kind of unnerving, because it put me off a little bit, but I did like the fact that when we saw her looking almost dead in the eyes, that sparkle, that twinkle was no longer there. But then as soon as it came back, and as soon as her plan was basically succeeding, it arrived, and, you know, she was able to become her normal self again, which is something I was looking forward to. It was a great visual as well, just wanted to add that in there. So then, with this weird DNA strand-like substance now attaching itself to Misaka, as she desperately tries to stop her own actions, what is going to happen? Is she going to get consumed by that endless void that was said to take over her mind? Is this what we're seeing? Is this now a race against time to save the consciousness that is inside of Misaka from being completely engulfed by this red-like DNA strand that is now going all over her hands? If it goes all over her body and encases her, Toma has run out of time. He has lost. But like I said, with Sogita, Gunna, and Misaki Shogo seemingly out of action, Shirai's not really in any condition to help out any further, Toma is up on his own. And he looks ready and fired up to take it down. But this will not be an easy task for him to achieve. So how will he do it? Imagine Breaker is powerful, but I don't know if it's going to be enough in this situation. That's what gets me excited. There is so much tension, so much drama unfolding, so much kind of pressure being put onto the characters within the series, and it conveys to us as the audience really well in both visuals, both in the music, and both in the dialogue and voice acting. So yeah, honestly, this episode was great. I liked it a lot. I want to know what your thoughts were on the episode down in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are on any of the points that I've raised as well. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more index related content on a weekly basis. But above all else, make sure you have a great day. Alligator, matane, goodbye.